It's CES 2020 and we've been invited down by Western Digital to come and check out their WD Black range of products. I'm speaking to Jared Peck, Senior Product Line Manager for Western Digital, so let's check out what they've got to say.
WD Black for us used to be just about performance. And it's still about performance, but it's really about making sure you have the right performance for your games.
Hi, so can you tell us the difference between the standard edition and the Xbox editions?
Sure. On the P10 and the D10, we have Xbox editions in both. When we talk about the P10, big thing, of course, you're going to get the black and white, the Stormtrooper kind of look on it. It's going to look great next to your Xbox. But the other thing that's important on these is on the P10, you're going to get 2 months free Game Pass Ultimate. And Game Pass Ultimate is a $15 value per month. So that's great if you're getting into it and you haven't tried it, but it's also good even if you're already a subscriber. It gives you 2 months for free. So it kind of makes it a little easier to get in a little more space so you can get some more games onto your drive. On the D10, on top of that, what we've done is we've increased the capacity. And so the regular D10 is an 8 terabyte drive. The Xbox edition is 12 terabytes. So it's so much that you can download the entire Game Pass library. It's so much that you don't worry about whether you're ever going to delete a game again. You just make sure that you have space for it.
And why did you choose that size of capacity?
Well, what we said again is we started looking at what people are doing in gaming on top of downloading a lot more because of things like Game Pass. They're also doing a lot of streaming, and with streaming you really need bigger capacity and you need space to be able to kind of hold on to your video. We want to make sure that you've got enough on that front.
Now let's talk about speed. I mean, what kind of speeds are we talking about with the capacity hard?
When you talk about a regular P10, what we're saying is it's going to be our fastest 2.5 inch. That's about 140 megabytes per second for what you're getting from performance. But when you step up to these guys, we're using enterprise tech, and so we're using 7200 RPM 3.5 inch drives. And these are about 250 megabytes per second transfer speed. So almost half as fast, about half as fast as an SSD. Which is quite a bit faster than people expect out of a hard drive typically. If you're really looking for the fastest though, we have the crazy fast P50. And so P50 is basically like if you turn the knob to 11. What we're doing is we're using our NVMe tech in an external. And when we do that, what we're doing is we're actually using USB 3.2 Gen 2x2, crazy name, but what it means is you're getting 2,000 megabytes per second over the right USB. And again, since it is USB, that means if you don't have that fastest system yet, you plug it in and it's going to work back in your 10 gig or your USB 3 as well.
But that's future-proofing, isn't it, by having that USB 3.2?
Absolutely. We want to make sure that you really are able to get that performance and your games are not going to slow down. You're going to have the best experience in that front.
And talk about the construction of the P50. That seems like an absolute tank.
All of our designs here are using our new design language for gaming in particular, but one of the things that we're doing is we are using materials to make sure that it's both beautiful, hopefully, and as well as functional. And this is actually a piece of forged aluminum on top. So it's literally there because you're running a 2,000 megabyte per second drive and they get really, really hot, so you need a heat sink. So the design is built around a heat sink that is literally keeping your drive cool enough that it never throttles and cool enough that it never burns you.
Right, so the P50 was 2019, but we're at CES 2020. Come on, you've got to have something new for us this year.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. We have a couple of new things, and one that I think is very, very cool is actually our 8 terabyte technology demo. So we looked over there at the WD Black and the P10. It's an 8 terabyte drive. That's a beautiful 8 terabyte drive. So is this. This is looking and saying, if we put SSD tech at it, and we try to make sure that we have the biggest, fastest drive out there, this is a 20 gig USB 3.2 Gen 2x2 product. That means it's 2,000 megabytes per second connection as well as 8 terabytes of storage. We're really looking at where the future can go on these kind of things, and so we're really excited about it. And on top of that, what we're doing is we're looking and saying, what else might people need for storage in the future? So we're looking at things like materials. Do we use things like metal grills? Do we use things like rubber to insulate it and give people a good way to grip it? Do we take inspiration from things like your backpack or your running shoes or other gear from that? So we really are in this category. We're trying to make sure that we're looking at what happens in the future and what people are going to need for storage. Not for sale yet, but definitely some of the tech that we want to show off and look forward over the next few years here where we'll start to see. The other thing that we've got here that's brand new is we actually have one of the tiniest 1 terabyte USB drives. And so this is a real product. This is actually going to be shipping by the end of the quarter. And with this, what it is it's our SanDisk Ultra Dual Drive Lux. What that means is that I've got the connection for USB-A and USB-C as well. So whatever computer you're trying to plug it into, Windows, Mac, as well as your iPad Pro or even your smartphone. So it's a good way to be able to transfer your files around. And for me on a USB drive, I think the soul of the USB drive is how do I move stuff? And it's not just storage, but it's that transition. So having those connections really makes it the right thing, I think, for your USB thumb drive. The other thing that's cool about this one for the 1 terabyte is that it is a totally metal enclosure from that perspective. So it's got a little bit of weight for it, it's tough enough, and it's designed to clip onto your key ring, so it's easy to keep with you and make sure that you've got that storage when you need it.
And if it's really critical stuff, you could swallow it and get away quickly.
Absolutely. No, I mean, it's pretty rounded, so you should be okay on that front.